What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of High Noon Live, kind of, sorta. This is kind of impromptu. Wanted to give a quick little update on some developments that happened yesterday. It is April 1st, so April Fool's Day, and this is it. I'm going to act a fool. Is basically what's going to happen here. So before I give the update on everything, you guys head on over to highnoongame.com. You'll see we are hovering just shy of 116,000. We keep fluctuating up and down, up and down. And I just want to tell everybody, like, don't let this bother you, okay? Attitude to gratitude. We crushed our goal, and we're making great strides into the market. And some people are like, "Why are people pulling out? Why are people pulling out?" There's a lot of reasons why. Life happens. What I'm finding is a lot of people who thought they were going to have a tax refund are having a tax bill. A lot of people are hitting. Hang on a second. I've got this person. Whoop. Hey, Sean, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hang on one second. You know what? It's my mom. My mom's calling. Oh, no, never mind. She's gone. All right. She's gone, everybody. She's gone. Life happens. Life comes at you fast. You don't know. There's a lot of things that happen to people. A lot of people wanted to back. I got a lot of messages from people who were all in, and just, life came swinging and they had to pull out. And for me, I get it. It hurts. It hurts everybody. We want to hit that goal. But for me, just the fact that they wanted to back in the first place, that's what means the world to me. So if you're watching this and you are feeling like you're under pressure to stay in and you can't for whatever reason, like life is weighing down on you, you got some unexpected bills, maybe you just pledged too much on too many campaigns, it's okay. I give you my blessing. I send you on your way. Come back when we're going to hit retail, and you're going to have plenty of opportunities to get the game. Please do not feel pressured to make horrible life decisions financially to get the game. I do not want that. I want you to be happy, and I want you to be healthy. I want your family to be secure, and High Noon's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So having said that, I wanted to jump into something that happened here. I'm not going to play the video, but if you're watching this, you probably already know it. Maybe you don't. But on March 31st, yesterday, March 31st, there was a video published by the Dice Tower, the Tom Vassell, Mike, a gentleman named Mike, and a gentleman named Z. And they basically do this video where they call it crowd surfing. They basically do reviews of all these Kickstarter campaigns. Now, I didn't know that they were going to do a review of my Kickstarter campaign. I had no idea that was going to happen. And so, I just heard about it. Some people in the Discord server sent me some messages saying, "Hey, you need to check this out." So I watched it. And, if you've watched it, if you've seen it, then you know why we're talking right now. So basically, here's what happened. They reviewed the campaign, the Kickstarter campaign. Tom was brutal to the campaign. Basically, we were thrown up against some big players in the lineup. Gloomier was there. Stellaris was there. There were creators that had campaigns in that lineup that have created, anywhere from 10 to 30 campaigns. Like, they've got long running, they're established creators, and there's established intellectual property. That's what we were being compared to. And, who knows what other contexts we were being compared to. But definitely that was in their lineup. The entire time, you could see that Mike was very, very disapproving of everything. Like, if you play it back and you just focus on him, you're going to see a lot of disdain. I try not to read too much into things, but now that I've had a conversation, so some things have happened, some things have transpired, and that's what we're going to. I just want to go over all this. So now I know the things I'm going to talk to you about. Like, I get it. But he was not happy. He was not happy at all. So Tom admitted in the video that they had a copy of the game in their possession. I think they actually had two, but they have a copy of the game, and they just have not played it. They've had it for over a month, and he said Mike did an unboxing video. Tom said Mike did an unboxing video. And so they know they had it. They know the stuff that's in it, but they reviewed the campaign, the Kickstarter campaign anyway. And then Tom said that he thought that the game was published, but then he found out it was not published. It was in Kickstarter, and so he pulled it off the queue. And so and he did that because he realized it was on Kickstarter. So then Mike had made a point about, he was like, well, they said, he made a point that, like, are you upset that the game's already made, and so this is kind of like a pre-order? And Tom was like, no, I'm not. That doesn't bother me at all. As a matter of fact, if I knew that I was going to get the game right away, it actually is kind of cool. And that was the point. Like, there's a lot that we're producing. The reason for the Kickstarter was to roll out these expansions, not the starter set. And that's what we did. That's what we set out to do, and that's what we did. And I think Tom got that from looking at the Kickstarter. But basically, that was it. They basically they swept the asphalt road with the face of High Noon's Kickstarter page, and then went right on to other campaigns. So here's what actually happened. Okay, here's how this happened, because Tom said, he goes, they sent us a game, and I don't know why. I don't know why they sent us this game. Here's what actually happened. I reached out to the Dice Tower. So actually, let me go back. So I'm a boomer in this whole industry. I'm not plugged in. I don't know all the cool kids. I don't know who anybody is. I don't know. And I told this to Tom. I don't know anybody. I'm not in the club. I'm not in the clique. I mean, you see these, if you look at like these people who the influencers who are oogling and ogling over Kickstarter campaigns, they are generally Kickstarter campaigns created by their friends. That's okay. Okay. I mean, if I were an influencer and I had a friend who, was an established creator and he was throwing up a new game, I would host him too. I would be like, oh my gosh, my buddy's making a new game. Woo! Unfortunately, these influencers are gatekeepers. It's just, it's with the territory. So, even like while their time is occupied by, their buddies who are also very successful and dominate a lot of space, they've got a lot of people, a lot of independent people like me reaching out to them and throwing our games at them left, right, and center. Some of us are throwing lots of money at them to get their attention. Not me, because I don't have a lot of money, but some people are throwing lots of money at them. So they're constantly being inundated by games. So they have to pick and choose what they're going to review, and it just makes them gatekeepers. That's just what happens. It's just the nature of the beast. So Tom is a gatekeeper. So when I was developing the game and I was reaching out to the community was giving me advice on who I should reach out to about getting reviews for the Kickstarter, because a lot of people decide what they're going to pledge if they're going to back a Kickstarter based on reviews. As a matter of fact, in a group that I'm a part of that is about retailers who back Kickstarters, the retailers were saying, there's no reviews from anybody that we recognize on your page, and so we're out. We're out because nobody that we know or have heard of is a reviewer on your page. And what they don't realize is I have no control over that. I don't have any control over who decides they're going to give up their very valuable time to review my game. And so I actually sent out roughly 50 copies of High Noon to game reviewers. I did that. I reached out to everybody, young and old, established and not. And what you see on the page is what I got. That's what people came back with. So, no hate on anybody, but that's what that's the amount of control I had. Everything else is outside of my control. So some people told me that I should reach out to the Dice Tower. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know who these people are. Remember, I'm a boomer. I don't know anybody. So I just looked up, who's the Dice Tower? A lot of you guys are like, who's the Dice? Who's the Dice Tower? Would you look at this? No, I really had no idea who the Dice Tower was. So I looked them up, and they've got 200,000 plus subscribers. They're a big group. And I was like, okay, that's pretty impressive. I went and I looked at other Kickstarter pages, and I saw in review sections, I saw Tom's name with a review line. So I was like, okay, if Tom's name is on a Kickstarter page, that's pretty legit. All right. So what I'm getting from this is they review Kickstarters. And their name has weight. So I went to their page and I went to reach out to them, and I saw a little blurb on the page, and it said, because of whatever, we don't do prototypes or Kickstarter reviews, or we don't review prototypes or games on Kickstarter, but we do if you want to pay us and you have a retail ready copy of the game or something like that. You can look it up. You can see on their page. It says it. But basically, it was like, we don't do prototypes or things that are in Kickstarter. But if you got a game that's done and it's ready, you can pay us for a preview. Now, at this time, I had no idea that there was a difference between preview and review. To me, those things were like distinctions without a difference. Now jump forward a month later, and I'm starting to get previews in. I get what they are. I do not see the value in them. I don't. This is right up there with unboxing videos. I think they are absolute garbage, unnecessary. They add nothing of value to anything. Miss me with that. But that's a video for another time. And I'm sure that upset a lot of people, and I don't care. I wanted reviews. So I'm looking at this, and at the time, in my naivety, in experience, I was like, oh, okay. So they don't want games that are basically made from cardboard and aren't finished. But if there's a finished copy of the game that is retail ready and doesn't need a Kickstarter, they'll review that. I just have to pay them. Well, that's me. That's High Noon. The High Noon starter set's retail ready. It's going to stores. I don't need the Kickstarter for the starter set. I don't need the Kickstarter for this. I need it for these cool expansions. And that's what I said. So I was like, okay, this qualifies. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, we got review copies. We have copies for reviews. Is there a way to send this to you? You know, are you interested? You know, who would I reach out to? And Tom actually reached out to me, and he said, he was like, yeah, you know, listen, our queue is really big. We are backed up, and, you know, there's no guarantee that we are going to get to your game to review it. But if you want to take that chance, then by all means, ship it to me at this address, and thanks. Okay, well, I really appreciated that. You know, being able to come forward and be like, listen, guy, I don't know who you are. I am really busy. It is skin o'clock to not review your game. But if I got time to get to it, I'll get to it. So I sent him, I thought I sent him 2 copies just to show how serious I was. But I sent him the copy anyway. And I figured he would get back to me whenever it was my turn in the queue, and with like an invoice, because that's what some people had already done. They'd been like, hey, we'll review your game. You know, this is our package. I thought that's what I would get. I didn't get anything back. I just, whatever. Now I'd emailed periodically. It's like, hey, Tom, you know, it's on the way. Hey, Tom, here's the tracking number. You should get it at this point. And that was it. I didn't hear anything from him. So then I get a notification from somebody, flash forward like a month later. I get, or not a month, I'm sorry. Flash forward a week or so later after the game has arrived. I get a notification in the group that there's an unboxing video on Dice Tower. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't ask for that, but all right. So I went over and I watched the unboxing video, and I mean, it's an unboxing video. It's exactly why I don't like unboxing videos, why I don't think they have any value in the space, why nobody should do them. They are more trouble than they're worth. They don't do the game justice. I'm not going to get into it. We'll do a video about that. We'll do a live stream about why unboxing videos are trash. And so are previews. We'll do that some other time when I don't care about my viewers, but or being popular and famous. So I saw that and I was like, okay, I mean, thank you, but you know, I sent this for a review. Like, I didn't send this for an unboxing video. I didn't ask for an unboxing video, and the unboxing video itself was pretty lackluster. Like I thought it was Tom doing it, to be honest, and it seemed like there was no time taken to observe things. Let me. And to draw a picture here, there was another group of people, D&E Miniatures, based out of, I think, Georgia. Good crew, and they did an unboxing video. And I didn't ask them to do an unboxing video, but what they did was they took the pieces out and they, like, piece by piece, they showed you. They're like, oh, this is kind of cool. And they felt like the material. And then they would do like close-ups. They had like, they would show a miniature. They'd be like, this is the miniature. And then they did like a rotating shot of the miniature so you could see it from all angles. And then they were like, let's open up the cards. Oh, let's look at the cards. And they gave some in-depth feedback that you could really see up close. Great detail. And that wasn't done in this video. It seemed really rushed. It seemed like they just wanted to open and be like, oh, it has this, it has this, it has this. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. See you in the next one. And again, I get if that is the case. If that's not the case, if that's not what actually happened, okay. But if that is what actually happened, I totally understand why. These guys are super famous. They have tons of games coming in. They're doing unboxing videos all the time. He probably had a line of other boxes he had to get to. You know, he just needed to get this in and get it out the door. You know, just let's go. That's fine by me. That's I was not upset by that. But my concern was it was just in the back of my mind. Tom had said there's no guarantee that we're going to do a review. Like there's no guarantee. So I'm thinking in my head, oh, great. If Tom is, and I thought it was Tom going through the unboxing, I'm thinking, man, if Tom is going through this box and he's not liking it, like he's not impressed, and if he judges whether or not, if he is at all influenced on whether or not he should do an actual review based on his impressions of the unboxing video, then man, this is not doing the, I mean, my game is not doing the job. And it's not supposed to. Like we've talked about High Noon. Like the starter set is supposed to be entry level. It's supposed to be easy to open up and play, but the value is in the gameplay. The pieces are there, the assets are there, the material is rock solid. But like this isn't a come on game, right? Like this isn't like like we don't have tons of money behind us and award-winning sculptors. Our sculptor's amazing. Our artists are awesome. These are awesome people. But they're all independent creators, and we're all making our start in this game. It's gonna be rough around the edges. So if you're looking at this going, the presentation of these pieces is the driving force for my review, this ain't gonna do it. So I came to the group and I said, look, guys, they did an unboxing video. Okay, great. But we need a review. Like we need a review. So I need you guys to go over there and tell them we got to have a review. Like tell them you want to see a review. I basically rallied the troops. Well, I'm pretty sure I made the point that like unboxing videos are trash. So anyway, people went over, my group went over and they said, hey, do a review. Nobody trashed the video on the link. Nobody that I saw. I didn't see anybody being disrespectful. But shortly after that, it looks like somebody from the Dice Tower joined the group. And I think they saw the post where I was basically like, I didn't ask for an unboxing video. I don't know what's going on here. Go over there and tell them to do a review. We need a review. So basically, here's what happened behind the scenes. Because I talked to Tom briefly through some emails. And here's what happened. Tom has a policy that they don't do Kickstarters. That is their policy. It doesn't matter if the game is ready to go, if it's retail ready or not. If the game is on Kickstarter, they don't do it. That's the policy. Now, I'll just say, if you go onto the Dice Tower, they have reviews, reviews of games on Kickstarter. Specifically, right now, you can see the review for Cora Quest, which was a review that happened 2 weeks into their Kickstarter. So they still had 2 weeks left to go, and they needed all the push they could get. And wouldn't you know it, actually Mike was the one who did the video. So the guy who did my unboxing video had done a Kickstarter review of Cora Quest. Now, granted, Cora Quest is created by a Dice Tower contributor. So again, it goes back to that point that I was making before. You know, if your friend is making a video, you know, if my friend is making a video, even if I have a policy of like, I try not to do that, at that point, it becomes a preference rather than a policy. I'm not going to put my policy over my friends if I've made my policy because of resources. If my policy is, if I say I'm going to do Kickstarters, it means that everybody is going to come at me and I'm not going to have time. So I need to just put out there, I don't do Kickstarters or I try not to. Then at that point, if a very good friend of mine who's done me many favors in the past comes to me and says, listen, man, I know you don't do Kickstarters, but would you just play my game and review it? I'd be like, of course I would. Okay. Now, maybe at that point, I probably still wouldn't because I probably have too much. I'd probably be like, man, I'm so sorry. I just don't have the time. But I mean, I'm not going to write off a good friend of mine who's done me favors. And if you're there, if you're watching this going, what a hypocrite. I totally would stand on my principles. No, you wouldn't. Okay. I mean, humans, we're all humans. And if that's the kind of person you are, that's not a good friend. So, there's certain righteous principles that I would encourage everybody to bend a little, given some circumstances. Sean says, I see Dice Tower on many Kickstarters. Yeah. Okay. So here's the point. Let me speak to this. So because I told him this, I was like, look, man, I saw your name on Kickstarters. I didn't mean trick you. Okay, I thought you did Kickstarters because your name was on Kickstarters, but actually, and this is just from my observation. So Sean, you may see something different. What I found after I heard this, once he told me I don't do Kickstarters as a policy, I was like, okay, but what did I see? And I went back and I looked, and what I saw was like on Frosthaven, he does a review. They put it there. Tom Vasel, here's the review. But if you see it, it's actually on Gloomhaven. It's about Gloomhaven. So it's like a little box. It's like, it looks like it's a review for Frosthaven. I mean, if you're just doing a cursory glance, you're not going to see that it's not a review for Frosthaven. You're going to see that here's Frosthaven I'm looking at, and here's Tom Vasel saying, great game. But if you actually stop and look at it, and under the context, wait a second, Tom doesn't actually do Kickstarter. What am I actually looking at? You'll then see that, oh, this was about Gloomhaven. Same thing with like V Commandos, which is out right now, and it's crushing it. Tom Vasel's name right at the top billing. But V Commandos it's deluxe. It's a reprint. So Tom's actual review, his actual quote, is not being quoted on that reprint. It's being quoted on the first run of the game, which has already been published. They're just basically saying, hey, look, guys, we're reprinting the game, and Tom played it the last time. He loved it. So it's not a mislead. Like, nobody's misleading. It's just the fact that, like, had we pushed High Noon into the market, and he got a hold of it, and we didn't do the Kickstarter yet, and then Tom played it, and then he did a review, and then we did the Kickstarter, and we included the game, and it was this Kickstarter, we could put that review up there because our game would have been published, and Tom would have reviewed it, and we could have been like, Tom likes it. But because that's not what happened, it just doesn't fall into that bin of things that he would review at the time. So that's what happened, and I think that's what you're seeing. When you see Dice Tower on Kickstarters, what you're actually seeing is Dice Tower's review of things associated with that Kickstarter, not things on that Kickstarter. So Tom thought he was getting a game that was published and was not on Kickstarter. And then he found out that it was on Kickstarter. So he got a little irritated by that. And so he's like, nah, whatever. And he took it off the queue. Now, at that point, I mean, like, straight up, he could have emailed me. Like the last email that I sent him before all this happened was February 4th, which is a month, like almost a month ago. Anytime within this time, he could have said, like, emailed me, just replied to that email, hey, I don't do Kickstarters, right? Like, that, like, that's not what we do, right? Like, that's a policy. But he didn't, so he had this assumption, and he felt slighted. He felt a little tricked. He says he let that slide. Okay. But it is what it is. So he was frustrated. Some Facebook user says, technically the game is published, right? Most people, when they say publish, what they're talking about is whether or not it's like in the store, you can go buy it, or it's on Amazon or whatever. Yes, the game's created. Yes, it's on its way to the fulfillment centers to be distributed to, retailers and you. But I don't think it fits what Tom was wanting, and I get it. So it is what it is. So anyway, he took it off the review queue, but because it went through, when I also found out Tom wasn't the guy who did the unboxing. It was Mike. And that's, I guess that's Mike's job. Like, his one job, like not his one job, but one of his jobs is to take the games that come in, regardless of anything. Like, he doesn't have to know why they're there. He just knows, oh, we got stuff in the mail. What is it? And his job is to open that up and show it on camera. And so he did his job. I guess according to, I've talked to Tom about this, and I told him, I was like, Tom, you're kind of mischaracterizing the situation. Like, you told your audience, now 10,000 people have seen your video, and 10,000 people have seen you say, I don't know why they sent me this game. And Mike is sitting right next to you going, yeah, I don't know what's going on. But you did know why I sent it to you, like, because we emailed about it, and you like replied to me, and you said, hey, if you want to review, if we may not have time for it, but send it to me. So, like, you did know I sent it to you. So I think while he knew that it was there to be reviewed, I don't think Mike knew. I don't think Mike had any idea. I think he was just doing his job. Mail came in. He opened the box, camera, unboxed it, what have you, and so that was that. But what happened? I see this, not knowing it's Mike. Not knowing it. This guy named Mike has a job to open boxes on camera, and I'm like, guys, this is not what we need a review, because I'm in my frame of mind. I sent this game for a review, not a boxing, right? So now Mike. His video is getting inundated. I'm sure he's getting the notifications from people going, "Hey, review the game. Like this is lackluster. Review the game." And so he then is like looking into it, and this is all conjecture. I don't know this is the case, but somebody from Dice Tower, but it wasn't Dice Tower, but it was their logo, and I could have sworn it was Mike, joined the Facebook right after this happened. And so I'm thinking he saw that and was like, "What? I was doing my job. Like, what is wrong with this guy? This entitled jerk, Dwight and his stupid game. I didn't even, I don't even know why they sent it to me. Why did they even send me this game? Because, Mike, I told Tom I wanted a review, and Tom said, okay, send it over. So that's why I sent it, and Tom knew. So anyway, that's what happened. So he thought he was getting a published game. He wasn't. He turns out he didn't. He felt slighted by that. I thought I was getting a review and not an unboxing video, and I felt slighted by that. And so it was like a perfect storm of whatever, and so anyway. I reached out to Tom about this, and we went back and forth, and I spilled it out. Like, I told him how I felt about the whole situation. And he could have responded. Like, F you, man, get out of here. I have, way too many people, whatever. And that is all. I'm not even entitled to that, right? Like he could have just not responded. But he said that after the Kickstarter, let the Kickstarter roll out. After the Kickstarter is done, he's going to take it off the shelf, put it back on the queue, and we'll go from there. So it's cleared up. But I wanted you to know, like, that's what really, like, when you're watching that, if you watch that along with the 10,000 other people who watched it, and you saw this like total dismissiveness of the campaign, and Mike over there kind of like making like these facial expressions of complete disdain. This is probably why, because this is actually what happened. But anyway, that's the facts of the matter. Now, if I were pleading this case in court, this is what I would say. I acted in good faith. I mean, I didn't set out to upset anybody. I acted in good faith, and the fact of the matter is I got I got punished for it. That was not a review. That was a public lashing, mixed into a bunch of other reviews. But whatever. I mean, they had the game. He even said it. They had the game for over a month. And like I said, if they had any confusion, if they thought anything, they could have just emailed me, and like he could have just said, hey, dude, what's up? But they didn't. And so that happened. Now, the damage is done. 10,000 people have already seen it, probably more by the end of the campaign. I don't see those people looking at that review and going, yeah, I'm going to back it. Now, I don't see anybody who's already backed and followed along in this journey watching that video and going, oh, wow, you know what? After all of these updates that I've seen from Dwight about High Noon, based on this review of just the Kickstarter, I'm out. I don't think that happened either. But we sent the game to them to hopefully drive traffic to the campaign, not convince people to stay in. So I don't see that happening with the way that they presented it. It is what it is. It looks like they are, willing to clear things up. It looks like they are willing to do a review of the game. But it's going to be after the Kickstarter is over. I mean, he said straight up, like, wait till the Kickstarter is done, and then we'll pull it off the shelf. So we're not Cora Quest, we're not contributors to the Dice Tower, so we don't get that friend discount. But it is what it is. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for that opportunity. Just so you know, I'm not holding my breath. You shouldn't either. Don't expect this to help our cause for the Kickstarter. It's not going to happen. outside of that, mistakes happen. It is what it is. We're going to take it on the chin. We're going to keep on moving. Personally, it's water under the bridge. I get it. They were upset, and I understand why. If I were in their position and I was limited to that information, maybe I would have sent out that email. But if I didn't send out that email, I would be upset too. So they were upset. They took it out on the Kickstarter. That's not okay. But I think they realize that. I think they understand that, oops, and you just can't go back in time. And they probably don't have time to do an update right now anyway, even if they wanted to. Maybe they do. Maybe they want to clear the air, and I just don't think they have time to do it, especially when the Kickstarter ends in like 2 days. So, it's okay. It's okay. I forgive them. I hope they forgive me for my mistake. And really, I look forward to seeing what they say about it. I look forward to seeing what they have to say about the game. I look forward to seeing what they think of the actual game. Look, when I say I'm okay, when I say like I'm no bad blood or whatever, and I say this is not okay, who hasn't done something petty in their life? Okay, like I know for a fact that I've done things that are petty to people because I was in a bad frame of mind. I know for a fact that there are things that I could have reacted better, I could have done better in my life, and there's probably somebody I hurt in the process of that. That's growth. Like we all do that. We're all in a constant state of growth. We're all constantly, I would hope we in this group are constantly trying to become better people, and we do that by learning from our mistakes. So, I have made a ton of mistakes in my life. I have hurt a lot of people that I wish to God that I could just go back in time and undo those things. I wish that I could make things right. And in some ways, I'm trying to. There's some instances where I think I still can. There's still time, and I am actively trying to do things to make those things right. I may not be able to. It just may not happen. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm constantly trying to become a better person. I'm constantly trying to, learn from my mistakes, and it's just part of growth. And everybody's going to make those mistakes. So, don't be upset don't be upset with Tom and the guy and Mike, or the Dice Tower. What happened. We all do things in bad frames of mind, that affect other people. And all we can do is, he who is without sin, so that's just how I'm looking at it. And I just wanted to set the record straight on, what happened. I've talked about this for 30 minutes now, so I think I've belabored the point. Like I said, I really look forward to, I hope that they see what the game actually is. Like, I hope they see what it is and are able to review it for that, and not try to put it on this pedestal and compare it to these massive games out there that, whether they're made by publicly traded companies or by people who this is what they do, that's not my story. That's not who I am. I didn't have these resources. This is just a labor of love. And I hope that they get that. And I hope that it translates well, because I'll tell you, everybody who's played this game loves it. In full stop. So I think they're going to as well. That's no pressure. Okay. So here's the other thing, guys. After setting all this clearing all this up, they could still come back and be like, yeah, this game sucks. But I think at that point, it's going to be genuine. It's going to be a genuine review. There's not going to be any baggage behind it. It's just going to be their honest review of the game. And that is all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. What you saw was not a review of the Kickstarter. I do not buy it. And if they try to say it is, I'm calling BS. But this is what was behind all that, and what I believe was the impetus for what you saw in that video. And I hope this cleared it up, because, like I said, it's water under the bridge, and they said they'll review it, and that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what you should too. Just don't expect it to happen before the Kickstarter, because it ain't gonna happen. Let me go into a couple of comments here. Send my copy, and I'll get Marco on Arnaldo to review it. He and I are friends and live about 3 miles apart. I don't know who that is. But you got it. You got it. shoot me a message and let's work this out. I'm assuming that's a famous person. I'm assuming that's somebody that's really big. But yeah, I appreciate it. And that's another thing. Like, I really appreciate any word spreading word of mouth at this point is all we got. I should know who it is. I'm gonna now you're gonna make me look it up. You're making me look it up. Marco. I'm telling you though, I'm such a boomer about this industry that I just don't know. I don't know people that I know I should. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to know. I'm seeing them now. I'm going to learn this person. I'm going to learn about this person. And yeah, shoot me a message and we'll work it out. Sean says, we have our copy now and we'll be filming our review this weekend for what it's worth. Thank you, Sean. You are the man. Thank you so much. And for those of you who don't know, Sean has a show called OMG Nexus. Check it on YouTube. We had a lot of fun. He did an interview with me. It was very gracious to give me your platform for that. Thank you so much. Check out his channel. Look it up. It's OMG Nexus. Give him a subscribe, guys. That's it. That's all. I just wanted to clear the air about it. Thank you for jumping in and watching. And I was supposed to play the trailer for the Kickstarter, but I forgot. But listen, there's still time. There's still time to back the campaign. And we are, let's see, hang on a second. We are still sitting at almost 116,000. That is less than $5,000 away from unlocking Father Franklin and a free unlocked add-on. That's a free expansion. That's a free upgrade for the chips and tokens. That's a free, set of the Kickstarter exclusive poker cards. Whatever you want that is from the unlocked stretch goals, you are going to get an additional one for free if we could just get to $120,000 in the next 66 hours. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody to go and back High Noon. The link is in the description. And with that, I bid you adieu.
High Noon around these parts is bloody and unforgiving. On this untamed frontier, if you try to save your bacon, you're gonna go home hungry. To win the game, become acquainted with punishment, both in giving and getting. High Noon is a tactical combat board game set in a fictional turn-of-the-century Wild West universe, where players vie for dominance using various posses of unique characters with deadly variety. Assorted game tiles can be assembled quickly and easily to ensure no theater of war is ever the same. With your battlefield tiles confederated, it's time to take the reins of your posse. Draw from your deck to equip your posse with their unique skills they'll need to get ahead. There are no dice in High Noon. When it comes to victory or defeat, it's all in the cards. Don't forget to loot wherever and whenever you can. Gathering loot from crates around the battlefield will give you a razor-sharp edge. And most importantly, enjoy the spoils of your victory. Pick your posse and be ready for the fight. You might just make it out alive.